Hey everybody, welcome back to Star Wars Meditations. Hopefully you enjoyed our first episode. Glad you're back. There was a big thing that happened, guys, this week. It was called Battle for Endor, Ewoks.
Caravan of Courage.
Caravan of Courage. Great film. Obviously, Last Jedi just came out, and we want to take the next few videos to break down some stuff in there that there's so much to talk about. And what I really want to talk about for this one is my favorite scene in the entire movie, which is... oh, by the way, if you haven't seen Last Jedi, don't listen. Should have said that, but I'm assuming if you're watching this, you've seen it. But it's definitely the scene with Kylo and Rey aboard, Snoke's throne, and inside Snoke's throne room. And this scene is, so just the fighting itself, as of right now, it's my second favorite fight in all of Star Wars, to only Duel of the Fates. I love the fight. I love the choreography. I love how they work together, even though they're not necessarily fighting in tandem. I mean, that initial shot, right, where they are back to back is great. And again, the use of slow-mo is a little bit new for Star Wars, but it's so brief. And I think it's great because it gives us like a sense of this is epic. Here it comes. And then boom, it goes right into it. But what's so powerful in the scene is just all the setup to it, right? Like Rey she's constantly appealing to him as Ben. Snoke is just laughing this off. I mean, Snoke is so much in the scene as Palpatine from Return of the Jedi, in the sense of, I know everything going on in his mind. I know who he's focused now. He's going to kill you. But what he doesn't realize is he's sensing everything correctly for Kylo, but everything you're sensing is wrong. It's all geared at Snoke. And then, I love how it's just, he uses those two fingers, goes like this, cuts him in half, Rey catches it, and it's on like Donkey Kong.
I feel like that scene really shows that Kylo is a lot smarter than maybe we thought, and definitely than Snoke thought, in that he knows that Snoke can read all of his feelings, and he's like thinking through a strategy of projecting these feelings in a way that Snoke can misinterpret them. So he has to be so tightly controlled to pull it off. Because everything Snoke is saying, obviously in the audience, we're all like, oh, he's talking about himself here. But Kylo has to be able to like mask his intentions a bit, but expose enough to keep Snoke comfortable, which I think is really remarkable. Yeah. And I think the writing in that scene is just absolutely fantastic, the way they did that.
Right.
And everything you just said makes him a much more dangerous Supreme Leader, right? So no holds barred, it's going to be wild in 9 if he's really kind of unleashed in that position. Yes, I really like the way you said about the slow-mo, that you need that kind of moment to kind of pause. Yeah. It's also like a cheer break with the crowds I've seen it with, where they're all excited, and then it's just like kind of you suck in that last breath and you take the dive into it. I'll just add to that, the way that Rey tosses the Praetorian Guard's weapon into the curtain and the curtain slowly burns. It's one of the most incredible visuals we've seen in Star Wars, perhaps ever. And I think it's a way in which we get that emotional intensity represented around it. I know, Ben, you compared it to a good ballet, right?
Yeah, or like Busby Berkeley, like a musical. Yeah. When they first pull back, they do that really wide shot, and he's got the red fabric all the way half the screen. It's just like so like graphically simple. Snoke obviously has like a very strong aesthetic preference with like the shiny black floor, and then the Praetorian Guards kind of have the same level of shine with the red, and the way they all move in at the same time. It's just like so nicely choreographed. It's just a little like 20 seconds of just a little beautiful moment before the carnage starts.
Yeah. Well, and I love Duel of the Fates too, but I had it ruined for me, and I'll do this. I'm sorry, dear viewers. If you ever just watch one character through the whole thing, you see how constructed it is. And so I put this duel through that test in some of my repeat viewings, and you can watch just Rey, just Kylo, just some of the guards, and it's flawless still. They're always in motion. They've smoothed out the choreography. Clearly a lot of training, and it's gorgeous. They nailed it.
Yeah. One of the shots in there, right off the start, right after the slow-mo ends, somebody takes a swing at Kylo's head and he ducks and touches the floor. There's a very fluidness to Adam Driver's movements, but he's so ferocious. And I love that. Yes. The moment when he's holding out the blade and like circling like that. He's like a predator. And in that moment though, you think, well, he's a good predator. She's turned him. And, you and I have talked about this a few times now. But as soon as that fight's over and, that everything's literally burning, right? Everything's burned down. And Rey immediately runs to that view screen where we see, the transports being attacked and, tells Kylo, you can still order them to stop. We can still save the fleet. And, Ben is not there. It's Kylo, and then like the naivete of Rey, which I appreciate because we've really not seen her make any mistakes up to this point. So it's important that she slips up. I mean, she really thinks she's changed Ben, but she just hasn't. And
there's a little bit of Padme Amidala and Anakin there when he first says, I can't remember his line exactly, first says it, and she's basically like, don't do this, which is totally
You're
like
breaking my heart.
Right.
Yeah.
I cannot say enough about Adam Driver though in that scene too. And then he, you're still holding on. Let go, right? Like the way he like shouts that line at her. And again, they're both kind of after the same thing, but have very different ways of approaching it. And Kylo's way, to me, is a very juvenile way. Even though Rey, in a way, is the naive character in the scene, Kylo's the juvenile still. What's his solution? Well, let's just burn everything down and start over. Well, no, you can't just kill everybody and think that that'll allow for a just society to grow out of. So
I feel like we could do an entire video series just about this scene.
Yeah. But alas, we're not going to. So feel free to share your comments in the comment section below. And again, thanks for checking out Star Wars Meditations. We hope you're back for our next episode. And remember, the Force is with you. Not sometimes, always.